Let's hear it for Justin Haywards. Having fun? I said, you having a good time? Yeah. Me and him were at the bar till like 3 a.m. last night. It was crazy, but you got up before me. I saw you running laps. So trying to keep up with it.
I don't think you saw me.
I mean, what an icon, right? A man's music that I've heard since I was like 4 years old. I mean, my brothers religiously played Days of Future Past, and I felt the concept at that age, you know, living life in one day, and, you know, records like The Pretty Things, SFSR, you know, these concept records, but I have to say that yours was monumental in your songwriting and your vocals. You know, just an honor to be doing this with you.
Thank you.
So, anybody have questions for Justin? Here we go.
Good witnesses go now. But on the album, Settlers to Join, the second to the last song, Prove, it says, how are the children of Rosemary? I long to be in your company. Is that a personal experience that you knew of?
I'm sorry, you're going to have to repeat that. In English.
I was just wondering, Settlers to Join album.
Yeah.
How are the children of Rosemary? Is that from a personal experience, or is it just went along with the album?
You mean the long distance album? Was that part of a series? Is that what you're saying? Asking? Or a song?
Well, there's a song on the Settlers to Join album. It's one of my, When You're a Free Man.
Oh, When You're a Free Man. It was one of Mike's songs. It was about Timothy Leary. He was a friend of ours. He was a friend of ours. Yeah.
Audio.
Justin, what was it like when Mike Pinder left the band and all of a sudden you had one of your founders was gone? Can you walk us through that transition?
Well, the petrol was cheaper, and the air tickets. Yeah, Mike was a great loss. I mean, Mike brought me to the band, and I respect that it wasn't his thing anymore. But we were lucky, I think, in the 80s, or the late 70s and the 80s, to meet some wonderful record producers who knew, instinctively knew what was inside of our minds when we were trying to make records. And I think that was the era, because Tony Clark, the original producer who produced the first 7 albums, he left at the same time as Mike, through family circumstances. And so working with different producers for the first time through the 80s, I think the 80s gave us the most successful time we've ever had, actually. So yeah, it's my favorite time.
I mean, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, it's all right.
I'm saying, you know, the Moody Blues were basically a Birmingham blues band, right? And then you come in right out of the gate, and I mean, you know, you change the bands, the dynamics, and everything like that. Were you aware of what they were doing previous to you joining the band? Were you hip to them?
I was aware of the record Go Now, and I was aware of, because the only bit, when Mike called me, I had to struggle to think, what have I seen, you know? And I remember Clint Warwick, he had a sort of, he had a grave digger's face, which kind of went with the whole idea of Go Now. And I can remember that in Mike's playing the piano. I wasn't paying attention because I didn't think I needed to. And I think Mike's idea was to change the band from a covers band, which did work, and Actually, I met all of the band in London. As soon as the band was formed, there were some managers there who went to London. So I was already there. And yes, that's it. So we started just doing our own material. People still wanted to hear Go Now, you know, but I drew the short straw and had to sing it for about 3 months.
There's a bar in Midtown Manhattan, karaoke. Yeah. There's a bar in Midtown Manhattan that you karaoke, and you can see, even in 2023, people singing Go Now. It's kind of a trip. That's the impact of that song.
Well, if you hear the original version by Bessie Banks, it's exactly the same. And I think Danny Cordell, who was the producer, had that song and was looking for a group to do that song. Because also, it's not like anything else that Denny and Clint did in those, or Mike did in those days. So he was walking around with this one acetate by Bessie Banks, which was Go Now. Have a listen to it one day. You'll see.
Well, I know the original.
Oh, okay.
And you think about Mike, with the Mellotron. I think the influence of the Moody Blues, with the Mellotron. Was it pre-Satanic Majesty's request, like referring to the Stones?
Yes.
Like it started to become the hip instrument. It was like I feel kind of took it to the forefront. Maybe the Beatles timeline was, right?
No, I think you're right. There's a couple of jazz groups. Graham Bond was using the mellotron on stage, and he was the first person I saw using the mellotron. But Mike had worked for Mellotronics, the company that made the mellotron, and he thought it would be a good idea for our new songs. And for me personally, because my first few songs that I did with the group, Fly Me High, and Leave This Man Alone, and things like that, had piano on them. And as soon as we got the mellotron, I think it just, everything fell into place. And Mike and his mellotron made my songs work.
So it must have been, because you guys were going non-stop. You hit the road, you hit it hard, you're making records. We're still looking for that lost chord, by the way.
They were searching for the lost chord.
Take it down a bit now. They can all be. I can do it without one. It's really busy over there.
They used to working with Iron Maiden,
I've got no idea what that means.
Actually, you do, because you did something with the guy from Iron Maiden, right? Didn't you do something with the singer, Bruce Dickinson?
With Bruce, I did do something with Bruce.
Ironic that I brought that up.
No, very observant of you. No, seriously. And it was like some kind of joke on that. That was at Canterbury Cathedral. With Ian with his flute,
Do something else with that.
Yeah.
I was having a kidney stone attack. You ever have a kidney stone attack?
Not yet.
It's not,
I think I'm starting on that.
On that note, who else has got a question for Justin? Right here. Justin.
Oh, hello. Whose mic is that feeding back? Say it again, I'm not quite sure. Well, that's it. It's real loud. Everybody can hear. Okay. Do I have some ideas in the middle of the night, and do I wake up and write them down? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. No. I write them down just before I go to sleep, and then I wake up and I think, that's interesting. And I keep it all in mind. I keep little notes of things that might be useful in the future. They rarely are, but I keep it. know Tottenham anyway. Yes.
Where's Rob?
We're over here. Keith.
He's straight for everybody. Deadhead. 12 o'clock.
Justin, straight guy. First of all, thanks so much for a lifetime of inspirational music. Can't tell you how much it means. I want to ask about your song, The Voice. It meant so much to me at a key time in my life. Was that, you consider The Voice, that entity, the source of where you get your inspiration, where you get your music, where you get your lyrics? I wonder if you could talk about that. Thanks.
Yes, what did you say, the voice?
Yes, The Voice.
The song The Voice? The song The Voice?
Yes, the song The Voice. Thanks.
Yeah, well, I think I do a little bit in my show, because it's a song I never had a title for. I never had a title for it when I wrote it, I never had a title for it, and I played to the other guys, and they said, what's it called? I never had a title when I went to the pressing room plant with it. And at the last second, I just called it The Voice, thinking somebody like Jimmy Durante had done it before. And lots of people have done it since, because I think we're talking about 1981. Whatever.
Hey Keith, we have another question up here.
That was my idea.
But you're right. It's a style of song that everybody you meet, particularly if you have a record producer, they can. Why don't you just do another one like that? But The Voice was the first song that I recorded at home at the guitars. We can get through this. That police deserted me. Yes, so and that was a big thrill to take the two guitars and the a Lindrum and a little keyboard part into the studio and have us play to that. And so I'd already done the hard work of getting the groove, and it did lead the way to a lot of other things. You're absolutely right. It led the way to Water Streams, I Know You're Out There Somewhere. They're all the same kind of tempo.
Hey Keith, we have another one out here.
Can you hear me? Okay. I hope you don't mind, I have two questions. One, I hope I speak on behalf of the other cruisers. Are you considering, would you try to do this cruise again next year? This is our first, and I'm hoping that it won't be the last. And the other question is, there's been so much change in the music industry. I'm wondering what you would love to see, trend in the music industry. For myself and many others here, we'd love to see more of your kind of music. But what does Justin think?
Well, yes, I'd love to do another cruise. If I'm able, if I'm healthy. Will you? I didn't finish the question. It was a two-part question. Sorry, I said the second part of the question was again.
With all the changes in the music industry, what would Justin most love to see changing going forward?
I don't know whether it's, the big changes in the music business, I think, belong to young people. And they will always make that move because it involves fashion and personality and celebrity. It'll always be them that changes that. And there's always something worthwhile listening to. I'm back to the days of buying singles, really, except that I do them on Apple Music or Spotify, something like that. And yes, so the big changes will belong to the music bit. I'm not going to go out myself and try and do it, but I'm always amazed at what some kids have come up to and the things that they've discovered that I never knew were there. And I never get drawn into that argument. It happened to be only the day before yesterday. I was doing an interview with a newspaper, and they said, of course, the music of your day was so much better. And I said, no, it wasn't. And I said, if there's people falling in love to these Taylor Swift songs, say, now, and they'll be with them all their lives, and they'll remember that forever. So that's the way I feel. Because I bet there isn't any one of us here who their parents didn't say, why are you listening to that? But thank goodness we did listen to it, because that's the only reason I'm here, really. Otherwise I wouldn't be here.
What do you think of the bottom?
Yes.
I mean, the beautiful thing is that you have time to get, to make a record. And these are like real motion pictures that people experience in their bedrooms, and the younger generations go out to that. So that's kind of a beautiful thing.
Well, I think it was, because vinyl has so many limitations. Only 47 minutes, and so you have to kind of squeeze things